Hello lovelies! Today we are taking a look at the 2011 short film Palm Sunday. This is from Spirit Juice. It runs roughly 5 minutes and 9 seconds. It's a fairly straightforward short film. It's fairly interesting for what it is. It really gets its point across. So you have two young boys who are in church. Obviously it's Palm Sunday and they are bored. They start roughhousing and hitting each other with the palms. Their mother scolds them. So in order to entertain themselves, because they are reading the Passion, so in order to entertain themselves, they decide to make a contest of who can yell the phrase "crucify him" the loudest. And during the course of this, the younger of the two brothers actually winds up just kind of really being affected by this, which takes him by surprise. Nobody even knows what's going on with him, but it's interesting because he seems to be affected by reading this Passion play, and at some points we kind of see that he's kind of getting somewhat of a flashback, kind of like he's being pulled into the scenario. So he sees himself there amongst the Romans and Jesus being crucified. And throughout the course of this, you can kind of see that he really takes it to heart, like the whole message of Jesus died for our sins. He really gets the message. It really hits home, and he just kind of realizes, well, this really isn't something to be goofing around with or playing with. And he's a young guy that's, youth gets bored. You can't blame them for wanting to entertain themselves. And throughout the course of this, his older brother kind of starts making comments like, "You sound like Mom, what's up with you?" But it's very interesting, the references, whether it's him just kind of falling back in this time period and denying being a follower of Jesus, which kind of reminds me of Judas. I don't know if it was meant to be a reference or not. And you do get some slight references to the crucifixion as well. Nothing graphic, but it's a fairly well done short film. It's not a perfect movie, but the lighting is decent, which is always one of my main complaints with these short films, especially if they're independently produced. The acting is actually, it's kind of stiff, but it's decent. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, it was a fairly entertaining short film. I enjoyed it for what it was worth, and for 5 minutes it really does get its message across. So it says what it needs to say without being overbearing, without preaching or being too religious. This one is just a very super simple, just very basic short film. I really don't have any complaints about this one, but if you were interested, I would encourage you to take a look. And which, if I remember correctly, Palm Sunday is the event that preceded Jesus having spent 40 days in the desert. So this is pretty much it marks his, I don't know if you would say his triumphant entry into Jerusalem. And what makes this very, very interesting is he kind of had a king's welcoming, to my understanding, which that definitely stepped on a lot of toes. Also just the fact that he was referred to as King of Kings, and it also offended a lot of religious people. So he arrives in Jerusalem, and I'm not really quite sure how this happened, but I believe they borrowed a donkey or a donkey colt from someone, and he rides into the town or the village, and the people that were waiting to see him or greet him essentially lay down palm leaves or cloaks in his path, just kind of to form a walkway for him, which is why I made the reference earlier. It was a king's welcoming. This day in particular is very important because it's part of what leads up to the crucifixion or the sacrifice. Essentially, people had to be offended in order to push for his punishment, or the crucifixion, in order for him to, once again, I'm kind of confused on how this works, is he's supposed to kind of abolish or cleanse people of sin, and then of course we have the resurrection. For those of you who are practicing Catholics, I would love to share thoughts and gain more information. And I apologize if I misstated or accidentally offended anyone. I'm still kind of studying and learning myself, but yeah, just a very short video for today, but that is all I have for you guys, and I will talk to you later.